To be here.
Corey, good to have you back, buddy.
Thank you.
You're about 40 pounds lighter now, right? I mean, you've been going through some amazing changes yourself.
I have.
Do you think that these changes that you're going through, people are noticing, obviously, that you've lost a lot of weight. Do you think that this has something to do with your contact with these blue spheres?
Absolutely.
Could you go in a little more detail?
I was asked to go on a high vibratory diet, and instead I was scarfing down corn dogs and ignoring them and gaining weight. And last time I was here, I got food poisoning from eating meat and other things that I probably shouldn't eat. And after that, my body, it's like my medulla oblongata shut everything off. And I mean, I couldn't eat meat. I couldn't eat anything. Wow. All I've eaten since January is fruit, and I mean, just are berries, bananas, and I have to force myself to eat that. And the weight just poured off. And I've been going through all sorts of other changes as well. It's been pretty incredible.
Wow, good for you. That's great.
So this contact is creating a metamorphosis in you somehow. The contact that you've had since you and I started talking and all this stuff started to happen with the sphere beings, something is changing in you.
Correct.
William, is there a historical precedent that when people have these phenomena happen to them, that these sorts of changes occur with them?
I actually call it the light body effect. I had one person ask me one time, is that a diet? It's like when you start connecting with the blue spheres, with the light body concept, you do start to plug into a higher vibration, and it will manifest in physical body changes. When I really started heavily working into with these rainbow body images 5 years ago, it also came at a time when I was newly married. I've lost 20 pounds myself. I can understand that. And I know part of it is the change of diet that my wife made for me, higher vibrational foods. But I also know it's my constant interaction with these images of the light body and saying, that's the direction I'm going. And it literally manifests in a lighter body. That's part of the change.
And you're just looking at the images. You're not doing this in front of the computer, right?
Right. I'm not doing that all day. I mean, I'm just working with them
right.
all the time. And your values change. You just decide, okay, I'm really going to step this up because it's very important. We are what we eat, and
what we consume.
Yeah. What we consume, and it really feeds the soul. We talk about this in my show, The Awakened Soul, here on Gaia, the importance of food and as a vibratory input into the body and that kind of thing, and how the soul craves food just like the physical body needs higher vibrational food. The soul also needs high vibrational food. It wants to contemplate its existence. What am I doing here? How did I get here? How do I leave? These are the questions that the soul really wants to contemplate, and that contemplation is feeding it.
That's interesting.
Well, I want to point out, too, one of the reasons why I chose to work here instead of taking other offers is that this network has such an amazing collection of health and wellness videos that people can watch.
Right.
A lot of people might only at first be interested in the surface information of, oh, I want to hear these sci-fi cosmic things about Corey being in space. But then eventually, as you get into this, you start transforming.
Definitely.
And then that transformation is going to include body, mind, and spirit.
And everything's tied together.
Yeah.
Right? Everything's interlaced.
Right.
So it's all part of that continuum.
It's the ascension. People think the ascension has to do with becoming immortal. Like, you've got all these technology companies now that promise immortality. Google, you'll be able to live to be 500 years old. We don't want that. We don't want immortality. We want ascension. We want the light body. And you can't get the light body through technology. But that's a little ahead of our conversation right now. But
well, now, William, I did a whole 8-episode miniseries on this really remarkable guy, the second Buddha, Padmasambhava.
Oh, yes.
And what I went through in that was essentially describing, there was some leaked information from a man named Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche. He has a book called Rainbow Painting. Probably the best book that really gets into the data of how they activate the rainbow body, leaked from the Tibetan schools. And one of the things he said was that if you can spend 13 years where every thought is a loving thought, which I'm not even on day one.
I can't go 13 minutes yet.
But theoretically, if you can stay in that state of harmony and be meditating and so forth for 13 years, You activate rainbow body, you're done with your entire universal curriculum of evolution.
Wonderful. That's awesome.
And I know you've studied this too, so...
Definitely. And one of, getting back to the awakened soul as well, one of the things I discuss in that series is the power of the sacred art in the image to trigger the light body within us.
Oh,
it's
wow.
an actual spiritual practice engaging the image and allowing that to trigger the blueprint within us for the light body.
Similar to the stained glass in a cathedral or a
Absolutely.
Merkaba.
Yeah,
or a mandala.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And now we know the whole neuroscience behind this now, how it triggers the mirror neurons in the neocortex of the brain. The brain can't tell the difference between a real and imagined experience. So for example, if I'm looking at an image of Padmasambhava, as we're doing here in this tanka, in his rainbow body, that image is interacting with us. And because Padmasambhava is a guru, an avatar, he can manifest through that image and activate our rainbow body. That's really powerful stuff.
Now, if we look at his body, we're seeing a vortex center
Yes.
in his head and another one in his heart.
That's correct.
Why do you think there's two instead of just one?
Well, for one, the swirling vortex at the heart is the open heart chakra,
Okay.
being of love. But then when you get into the detail of the image and you look into the forehead, look at the third eye, there's a blue sphere right there in the third eye.
Right where the pituitary.
Exactly. He's meditating on the blue sphere or the blue pearl and then activating the blue sphere within himself that manifests as the rainbow body. You know, one of the things about Padmasambhava that's so interesting too is that his name means the lotus born.
That's right.
And very often in this artwork, the lotus that he is born from is blue. And it's a blue sphere. So,
It's incredible.
Wait a minute. Is it too much of a leap of the imagination to think that he's not born out of a lotus flower?
He came out of one.
He manifested out of a blue sphere. And that's why he's meditating on it.
Even to the point that you have angelic beings around the sphere, just like in the Christian and the Egyptian images.
Precisely. It's the same story over and over again. And so they're trying to get us to wake up to this concept by the repetition of it and just showing, okay, we'll show it to you from this angle. If you didn't get it there, let's show it to you from this angle.
Through this tradition and through this tradition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you put them all together, as I do in the Awakened Soul, now you get this comprehensive picture, and it says, okay, wow, this is profound. They describe it as a universal teaching, and what I'm hearing from you is that it really is universal.
Yeah.
We're talking it being interstellar. I mean, it's throughout many star systems.